Alrighty, so I wanted to make this Justimon video because I wasn't finding a lot of Justimon tribal deck lists or deck profiles on YouTube, so I wanted to make this one because I made this based off a list on Discord, and this is the deck list that I feel flows generally pretty well. So let's start off with our eggs. So we have 4 of the BT23 Digimon. Has a when attacking, if this Digimon has 4 or more Digivolution cards, draw 1. And notice how this, when attacking, is not once per turn, so you could potentially trigger it multiple times during a turn. And this would be possible because the Justimons have abilities to unsuspend. So you could trigger it twice, maybe even more times during a turn, which makes the BT23 Digimon, the searching ability through it, a pretty fine egg. I wish there was a better egg, something that may work for the tribal Justimon build a little bit better, something that works with the device traits or some other ability that would work with Justimon, but this I think is a generic egg that works fine enough. Going into our rookies, we have 4 of the new CS Monodromon, we have 4 of the Searcher Monodromon, and we also run 2 of the Chikurimon. This works really well. It's a start of main phase by trashing a certain card, a device trait, a CS, Cyborg, or Dragonkin. So the majority of your cards in your deck. If you trash one of these cards, draw 1 and gain a memory. This just gives you a little bit more search, which is helpful. The Searcher Monodromon lets you potentially pick 2 pieces. These are the tribal cards. Any Justimon deck is likely going to run these. Why am I running 2 of the Chikurimons? I've seen a lot of builds that just really focus on the 8 rookies, and that's it. I don't really like the idea of just running 8 rookies. I don't really want to have, when first playing the game, you're shuffling and then drawing your 5 cards. I really don't want the high blood pressure of like, please, I want a rookie, right? So I don't really like the I think mold some people go with 8 rookies. I like having a high rookie count, so I have 10 rookies, but there's not really another good tribal card for the deck, so I went with the Floodgate Chikurimon. All turns, players can't reduce play costs. This comes up with certain decks, for example, Machine Dramon, or a newer deck Belphamon, an older deck Royal Knights that's still very prevalent today. I could completely shut down certain decks, so I went with the Chikurimon Floodgate here. But also an option I did consider was the Hagurumon, which revealed the top 3 cards. You'd be able to get a Cyborg or Black Tamer. Your Cyber Dramons in the deck, and also the Justimons in the deck would be grabbable, and your Tamers would also be grabbable. I think this card it works, but I think I prefer being able to completely shut down certain decks with the Chikurimon. 10 is the least amount of rookies I'm willing to go. I think I could be convinced to go to 9, maybe just removing one of the Chikurimons, but I'm pretty happy with the 10. It's super necessary to get a rookie at the beginning of the game, as usual with really any deck. Getting a rookie at your first turn, because that's really how you start setting up. And this deck doesn't really have an ability to, if you don't have a rookie, you're just kind of out of luck, and you're going to be super behind. And it doesn't have the ability to just start dropping these Digimon, hoping it'd live like a level 5 or a level 4. You're going to be really behind if you don't have a rookie. So 10 rookies is where I'm happiest, and these are the 10 rookies I choose. Going into the level 4s, I'm going with the 4 Strike Dramon and 4 of the BT23 Strike Dramon. This can reduce the Digivolution cost by 2 if you place a option card in the battle area, and this is able to play out one of your Rio Tamers. These are the tribal Strike Dramons. There's not much to it. I do run scrambles, which we'll go into later, but if you scramble, go from your rookie into Strike-Dramon, use the Scramble for that. You can reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. It would trigger. It's just a good card. There's not much more to go over with the level 4s. 8 level 4s. I've seen some lists go maybe 7, but I want to be able to get my pieces as usual as possible in my game, so I'm good with the 8 Strike-Dramon. Going into the level 5s, we have 4 of the CS, the new Cyber-Dramon. We have 1 of the Cyber-Dramon Aces, and 3 of the Cyber-Dramon X Antibodies. Typically, I really want to go into the Cyber-Dramon, so we're maxing it out at 4. Being able to all turns once per turn, being able to, if this Digimon with Cyber-Dramon or Justimon leaves the battle area, it's both a face effect and also an inherited effect by trashing an option card in the battle area. So it could be any option card in the battle area that includes your devices, includes your scrambles potentially. Any of your option cards in the battle area can be trashed to save it. Having that layer of protection is just really good. And then if, let's say, this Justimon or this Justimon is on top, you'll get a bonus effect. When option cards in the battle area are trashed, this Digimon unsuspends, then your opponent's Digimon effects don't affect it for the turn. So by trashing a card, triggering this inherited effect, it would trigger Justimon Blitzarm's effect of being now immune that turn, which is really good. And with this card, Justimon Axle Arm, it triggers all turns when option cards in the battle area are trashed. One of your opponent's Digimon can't Digivolve or attack players until their turn ends. That could be very essential in stopping their moving forward into either checking your security or just attacking. This Cyber-Dramon is the best Cyber-Dramon in the deck, so I max it out at 4. Cyber-Dramon Ace, being able to de-Digivolve 1, de-Digivolving potentially your opponent's Ace, is just very good. Being able to search the top 5 is just good generic search, and being able to organize the top of your deck in the way you want is good. And if you do find the Tamer, then that's really good. The when attacking de-Digivolve 1 is just good. It just comes up sometimes. I think being able to de-Digivolve an Ace and being able to do that just is really helpful. So we're fine with the 1. And Cyber-Dramon X Antibody, being able to place an option card, just being able to place your option cards is just a big strategy in this deck. And being able to trash the option card and de-Digivolve 2 can be very helpful. So yeah, these are the ratios we're going with. We want more Cyber-Dramons under, so 5. We always want to go into Cyber-Dramon, then going into Cyber-Dramon X, because then you get the, if Cyber-Dramon is under, right? If Cyber-Dramon is under, then you are able to place that option card. It doesn't feel as good going just straight into a level 4 to the Cyber-Dramon X. You can, but I really want to go into the Cyber-Dramon than the X, so 3 I think is fine, and we're going with 8 of the level 5s because I still like the golden rule of 12 rookies, 10 level 4s, and then 8 level 5s. We are straying away from that a bit, but I think that still is a golden rule, and I'm pretty happy with 8 of the level 5s. Going into our level 6s, we're going with Justimon Blitzarm, the new CS trained Justimon, and we're going with 2 of the bit older Justimon Blitzarm 8s. So I was really debating pretty hard on how I wanted to go with my ratios for Justimon Blitzarm. They're very similar cards, but one would think, let's maybe go all 4 with Justimon Blitzarm. It's a really good card, and it does basically what Justimon Blitzarm Ace does, but now it doesn't have the overflow attached to it. So Justimon Blitzarm 8 or Justimon Blitzarm should be the better card. However, just being able to ace from a level 5 or being able to ace from your other Justimons because if you had Justimon Axle Arm on the field, you would still be able to ace into Justimon Blitzarm Ace. Having that ability, I think, is really strong, and for that reason, I really am okay with this ratio of 2 Justimon Blitzarms and 2 Justimon Blitzarm Aces. This one says, on play by trashing an option card in the battle area, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Being able to kill other things from your opponent's side of the field is really good. And then when option cards in the battle area are trashed, this Digimon unsuspends. Then your opponent's Digimon effects don't affect this Digimon for the turn. So it only activates for the turn, while Justimon Blitzarm Ace does lead into your opponent's turn. If you go into Justimon Blitzarm Ace on your turn, it'll trigger its effects, which it gives it immunity from Digimon effects, and it still is active into your opponent's turn, which is a bit better than this Justimon Blitzarm. It can still be triggered, but and it typically would be triggered even in your opponent's turn. So if you had Cybergermon, this Cybergermon, the CS one, and they try to delete your Justimon Blitzarm, you will trigger the alternate effect by trashing an option card, trash the option card, and then the alternate effect of getting immunity in your opponent's turn will trigger. So it's very likely that you will get a very similar immunity to Justimon Blitzarm Ace. However, it may not happen because for a reason you only have Cybergermon X antibody under, and then if they try to kill your Cybergermon Blitzarm Ace, if you don't have this inherited Cybergermon under, then it would just die, as opposed to this Justimon Blitzarm Ace, while it would still have the immunity in your opponent's turn. So I'm good with 2 and 2. To continue on with the Justimons, I will go with the ratio of 3 of the Justimon Axle Arms here. This card is just really good. Its ability to on play when digivolving or when attacking once per turn, de-digivolve 1. One of your opponent's Digimon, then by trashing an option card in the battle area, this Digimon gains piercing and sec +1 for the turn. Getting security +1 gives you more aggression, very similar to the Justimon X antibody, where it on face already has sec +1. So it's a very similar card, and for that reason, I went a little bit higher into the Justimon Axle Arms, only going with 1 Justimon X antibody, because they're very similar cards, and the big reason why I'm going lower into Justimon X antibody, only having a single copy, is that once you go into Justimon X antibody, it's done. You can't continue to evolve off of different arms. So if you go into Justimon Axle Arm, you can then go into Justimon Blitzarm. Either of these, you could go into these Blitzarms. Then you could go back into Justimon Axle Arm, then go into a Justimon Blitzarm. You could keep digivolving off of the different arms. But once you go into Justimon X antibody, it's over. You can no longer go into a different Justimon with one of the arms, right? Once you go into Justimon X antibody, it's over. So because they're just very similar effects, I lean more into the Justimon Axle Arm because it also has sec +1. It's a very similar aggression. So I went 3 into the Justimon X Axle Arm and only 1 into the Justimon X antibody. This is still pretty good. That's why I'm still running the 1, and I do have the alters, so I have to run it. But no, I would definitely run it because when attacking, you could trigger one of the when digivolving effects of a Justimon under. Typically, I'll trigger Justimon Blitzarm Aces if I have the Ace under, which says on play when digivolving. Until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gains blocker and isn't affected by your opponent's Digimon effects until the end of your opponent's turn. So I'll typically trigger this one off when swinging with Justimon X antibody, but you definitely have different options. You could trigger this one's ability to unsuspend. And that's also very good. But either way, this card is very good. It has Rush. Sometimes it comes up. And I do run one Justimon Critical Arm, finishing and rounding out our Justimon list. I love this card. Some people elect to not run this card, but its ability to, when digivolving, place a device trait from trash or hand is just very good. You're constantly throughout the game trashing your option cards, your device traits specifically. So you end up running out of your device traits, and this deck is essential to have the device traits on the field in the battle area. So for that reason, I think this is a very good card, being able to bring one back, and then it just goes back into the cycling. So there's the Justimon Axle Arm, Justimon Critical Arm, and Justimon Blitz Arm, and again, you're able to go Axle Arm, Blitz Arm, Critical Arm, go into a different one. Sure, we'll go back to Axle Arm, Blitz Arm, and then from Blitz Arm you could go back to Axle Arm, and then go back to Blitz Arm if you want, and then X Antibody. Just being able to go from an arm to an arm to an arm of these Justimons is honestly just super fun. And yeah, I want to run all of the Justimons, and I think where is it here? Critical Arm deserves a spot in the list. It's a fun card. Being able also to delete your opponent's play cost of 9 also does come up. If they have an ace, then the ace is gone, overflow. But depends on the situation. But either way, I think all of the Justimons here deserve a spot in the list. And I overall run, 9 Justimon. And again, I go higher into the level 6s because, again, you want to constantly evolve off each other, and then you can consistently get draws, and being able to get that consistency is just really good. So that rounds out our Justimons, level 6s. Going into our option cards, we have 4 of the Rook devices, 3 of the King devices, and 1 of the Queen device. So this is the very unique part of the Justimon deck, being able to, through effects, play out these option cards for free. And this one gives you Reboot, Blocker, and plus 2k. This one here, when trashed, it is able to bring back a 3-cost option card from the trash back into the field, placed on the field. And this one, it targets one Digimon so that they cannot activate a when digivolving effect and gain minus 3000 DP for their turn. So going into these cards, why do I run 4? We just want to trigger the Reboot, Blocker, and plus 2k as often as possible. I honestly really want to trigger this every turn. So we're going maxing out onto the Rook devices. King device is very good in my opinion because you typically want to place it for free because of the Rio or other cards in the deck that place these for free. You don't really want to pay any of the cost of these. You want to be playing them out for free. But either way, when trashes, it brings back a option card back from the grave. So you just want to constantly have these devices on the field. So if you only have one King device on the field, and that's it, when trashed, it brings back a Rook device. So you're still in the game in terms of your devices because this is trash. It just brings ones back. When you only have one, like Rook device, it gets trashed, and then you're all out of option cards. So you definitely want the King devices out there when possible. And then the Queen device here is pretty good, being able to minus 3 KDP. You might be wanting to take out wider boards, and this is just one of those Digimon you're taking out with the minus 3 KDP. Or just being able to, if they have one Digimon at the field, stunning their when Digimon effects can be very good. And because we have the King devices here, let's say we have both of these out, trash this card through just playing the game, And then you have King Device. So trash this card, get the effect. When trash, it activates the stunning of one Digivolving effects and -3 KDP. It's gone. It's in the trash. Now you still have King Device. Throughout your game, you trash it again, and then it just brings back your Queen Device. So I'm okay running just one Queen Device because the King Device can constantly bring it back. And it's not too essential, so running one is fine, and I'm okay with that, again, because I have the King Devices. I'm running 8 total of these option cards because we have the Rio Tamer, which Rio Tamer, start of main phase, by placing one of these cards, draw 1. Really, the key consistency tool, I believe, in this deck is a Rio and these option cards. Because as long as you have a Rio on the field, you're going to be constantly drawing because you have so many of these option cards in your deck with a total of 8. I could run less, right? But that just lessens your consistency with the Rio. The less of these option cards you have, the less the Rio will trigger, and the less consistency your deck will have. So going at 8, I'm pretty good with. I'm pretty good with that. So those are our option cards, and you want to run a lot of options. That's the whole point of the deck, and I want to trigger these options. So having a ton of these is good. It just works with the deck, the Justimon deck. That the bread and butter is just these device trait cards. Going into our tamers, we're running 3 of the Rio option, 3 of the Rio Tamer card, and then we're running 2 of the Izumis. So again, places an option card, draw 1. The main effect of having 4 option cards on the field, if you have 4 option cards on the field, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say we have all 4, we could trash all 4, and then be able to play Digimon from trash, and I believe from hand, for free. That's great in theory, but it's very rare you're going to have all of these 4 different option cards, any 4, it could be any 4 of these option cards in the field at one time. It does happen, rarely, but often you're trashing these cards throughout your game to get the effects off. So typically, you're not going to get the main effect here. But this is a really good Tamer card. I just wish there was another Rio Tamer card that we could pair with it. Unfortunately, we're running Izzy. This is what, a BT4 card. It's fine. Being able to start return, have 3 memory, that's why we're running Izzy. But it also has an off-play effect of search for the top 3 cards of your deck. If they're all black, gain a memory. That's cool. Essentially, it could be a 3 cost instead of 4 cost because you essentially get that 1 memory back. And being able to search and be like, okay, I really want a certain card up front, and you can rearrange it and put it back on top of your deck. That's cool. Honestly, I really want this deck to get a different Rio Tamer, a memory setter that does something, anything for the deck, something that may, when, I don't know, your Justimon trashes an option card, put one back on the field, something, right? Something that pushes the deck forward. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. We have the one good Rio Tamer and Izzy Izumi. We want a memory setter, so Izzy Izumi works just fine. Finally, we have our scrambles. We run 2 scrambles, being able to reduce the cost by 1. Typically, we're evolving for 3. So it really, you use your black scramble. It's a Digivolution cost of 2. That's cool. Being able to get recursion is also cool in case your Justimon dies. Scrambles are just very good. And the big, super cool trick is that Digimon, you go from your rookie, scramble, go into Digimon that I mentioned before, reduce the cost by 1. So in total, going from Monodromon into Digimon is a total cost of 3 instead of the total cost of 5, and that's triggered by the black scramble effect and Digimon effect working hand in hand. That's why I do go into 2 of the black scrambles. It's good. When it comes up, it's great. Getting the recursion scrambles, it is what it is. scrambles are good. Again, some of the cards I thought of in the deck but chose not to. Hagurumon, I've already mentioned here. Pawn Device, which gives you a draw 1. If you use it when placed in the battle area, it's not going to get you to draw 1, and typically you don't want to actually pay the cost for your device trait cards. You just want them to have them placed. So typically, I'm not even getting the draw 1 from this. And also, I can activate whenever by trashing one of my cards, gain a memory. That'd be cool, but often I don't really trigger this. I want my option cards in the field, and gaining the memory isn't as good as the bonus effects of, Justimon. When digivolving, by trashing a card, delete the lowest play cost. That's a bigger benefit of having this on the field than why would I get rid of trigger this, let's say this on the field, and then digivolve. Why would I trash this to gain a memory when instead I could trash this to get the bonus effect of Justimon Blitzarm? Typically, I do not want to keep trashing my cards, and the bonus effect of memory just isn't worth it. So Pawn Device, I felt just was not worth it. And the same thing goes for the other device trait cards. I just didn't think they were worth running in the deck. Cybergemon, I love Collision, I want Collision, but I don't think it's worth it because most of the times I want the protection from this Cybergemon, so I don't think the Collision personally is worth it because I think the protection from this Cybergemon is just superior to the Collision of this one. If I go into this and then go into this, their turn, I'm gonna be pretty much naked. I'm gonna lose. So I want the protection effect of the Cybergemon here. I don't think this one is worth it. Also trainings, and also boosts too, but trainings, I was in the initial builds running a lot of trainings, but I found that even at the 2 costs, I didn't want to focus so much of my turn on just putting out trainings. It does help you in the next turns, it does have consistency, but my choice in consistency was the Rio Tamer and the options. The options, being able to every turn place an option, draw 1, is to me a greater investment into the consistency of the deck because I wanted to go higher into the device traits in this deck. So I cut trainings to be able to make room for more devices because again, these pair gives me draw, gives me the devices that is the bread and the butter of the deck. So I focused on the consistency here instead of the defense trainings here. I don't think I'd have room for 4 defense trainings in this deck anyway, so I likely wasn't going to find many of the trainings throughout the game. So I'd rather focus more into the device pairing with consistency with the Rio than going into the defense training. It is good, but if at best I could run 2 of the defense trainings, but I'd have to go lower on other cards in the deck. And I'm already low on rookies, I'm already low on level 4s. Going lower on the device trait option cards just ruins, again, the consistency and bread and butter of the deck. So, unfortunately, there was no room for defense trainings. I think these, the Rio Tamer and 8 of these option cards provide fine enough consistency in the deck. Other cards I've thought of were the Kosuke Tamer instead of the Izzy Tamer. I was bashing on Izzy earlier, but I think the search and the gain 1 memory is slightly better than having piercing and blocker because typically I'm going to get blocker through just face effect here or from triggering of my option card, which typically I do want to trigger through the Rook device. So piercing and blocker, I'm probably going to have piercing and blocker anyway. So I don't think it's worth it. I think it's redundant. So I went with the Izzy, which being able to search again the top cards and gain a memory, it's fine enough. I think it's slightly better than the Kosuke, so I decided to go with Izzy instead. And then I also thought of the Supreme Connection card, being able to search 3 cards, among them add 1 card with the machine or cyborg trait. Your cyborgs are your Justimons and also Cybergemons. Add 1 with machine or cyborg trait in the hand, trash 1 such card in the hand, return the rest to the top, or return the rest to the top, then place this card in the battle area. Then I could play a level 5 or higher machine or cyborg for a reduced cost of 3. I think it is good, but typically reducing cost of 3 of cyber. So typically, okay, Cybergemon reduced cost by 3, so it's a 4 cost drop. Cybergemon, that's cool, but 4 cost drop, you're gonna be lucky to have 3 memory. 4 cost drop means now it's your opponent's turn, and now they're gonna have the flexibility to just delete the Cybergemon you just spent a whole turn bringing back because of Supreme Connection. I want to put Supreme Connection in there. It works really, really well with the Cybergemon Ace because it would be reduce the cost by 3. It would be a 2 cost drop. But we only run 1. It's not worth investing into Supreme Connection if we only have 1 of these Cybergemon Ace. This is really where it pairs well, but I only have 1, so it's not worth the Supreme Connection. So yeah, that's pretty much my Justimon Blitzarm deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making the video, and I just really wanted a Justimon tribal list out there on YouTube, as opposed to some of the CS, more CS focused builds, which is cool too. But you know, I'm getting all these promo, option cards that are coming out. Promo Justimon cards that are coming out, and I want to use them. I want to use it tribal the way Justimon is the tribal way, the way Justimon is. So I'm happy with this build so far. If you have any questions, please let me know. And yeah, that's my Justimon build.